Hi, my name's Lizzie Karen, and I have crazy dreams about living in Atlantis. Anyway, here is just one of those dreams. It's one of my favourite reoccurring dreams, and it's of returning to a particular university or maybe place of study. It wasn't the only place of study that I'd spent time at, but it was my favourite. I'd done my compulsory time at each of the 12 institutions, but the life of younger ones consists of the first 20 years with parents or parent. No school as we know it. We just learn about life from our parent or parents. And then once we turn 20 years old, we are no longer children, but we are called uneducated. It's not a derogatory term or anything. It's just a matter of fact. So becoming educated or knowing takes 10 years in each of the 12 universities. So at last, at the ripe young age of 140, we are then free to choose the institution and subject matter of research or whatever role or job we wish to play in society. It's only then that we are fully knowing and can request to become a parent even. That doesn't mean that we can't have sex. Sex is fine between consenting adults. There's no guilt or stigma or anything like that. As for this university, the one I'm returning to, this place consists of big, dark buildings built upon a hill and into the hill at the edge of a town. The corridors, they're long and a bit confusing. There's a tunnel from inside the lower floor carved out of the bedrock in a giant spiral staircase shape, and it opens up onto the main town square. It's just a small town. Most of the buildings seem to be carved out of stone, not made from blocks, I mean. There are no plants in the central area, but you can see around the hills on the edge of the town there's some very large old trees. The place, I think, is some kind of satellite town for the university. I feel that it serves no other purpose. So my dream begins with a feeling of elation at being back as I walk towards the main hall along one of the corridors. I don't actually remember how I arrived there in this dream. Anyway, in the dream, I took a deep breath and just revelled in the ambience, feeling, extremely happy to be back. It obviously was a happy dream. The building, though, wasn't bright and shiny like so many of the other institutions I've dreamt about. In fact, it had rather a serious demeanour. Here it was like a place where only really important stuff happens. There had been someone in my dream that I was extremely enamoured of, and this was when I was there previously, and that must have been at least 10 years earlier since I was there. And there was that feeling of, there being someone there. I'm not really sure if my main reason for returning to this place was because of that or because I'd actually chosen my field of study to be here, or maybe even just a bit of both. At this point in my dream, I seemed to jump between the university and me going to a house in the town. So I'm standing at the bottom of a solid carved stone staircase that goes up to a house. I'm nervous, and I just loiter in the street at the bottom of the stairs. And then, just as quickly, the dream jumps back to the university. So I think that I might have chickened out. But at the university, I'm trying to find a specific room, but I keep getting lost. I guess that's a normal theme in dreams. But anyway, there have been too many changes at the uni since I was last there. And the room I'm looking for is an auditorium. There seems to be a lot of time spent going down different corridors and recognizing places, and then sometimes not recognizing places. And then eventually I find the auditorium. The auditorium is round with a stage in the center, and from the stage there are steps at each side that disappear underground. So on the stage is a group of dancers, and they're practicing away happily. And then one of the dancers sees me and obviously recognizes me and comes over, and I felt like I knew her as well. And she's just so happy to see me. And it's just that extreme feeling of knowing somebody. It was quite a nice feeling. Anyway, they urge me to go with them, so I agree, and then suddenly the dream jumps again, and we're back at the bottom of the stairwell to the house I was at before. But this time, my friend goes ahead of me, and she's quite excited, so she's pulling me up by my hand. We get inside, and there are several people stood talking and eating. And when they see us, they're really pleased. They welcome us, indicate for us to join. And at this point, I see someone I recognize from both my dream and from my waking life. He hugs me, and he says he's pleased to see me, and then leaves, but promises to catch up again really soon. I feel happy to have finally seen him. So he's the one that I was talking about before. But sad that he didn't actually stay when I just arrived. Anyway, the food I remember quite well because I had a nervous kind of lump in my throat and I was struggling to swallow. So that feeling of when you're eating, no matter how nice the food is, it's kind of a trying to get it down kind of feeling. Anyway, the food was all bite-sized. There was they kind of looked like donut holes in different colours. The one I was trying to eat tasted like a Madeleine cake with quite a strong honey flavour. It was delicious, it's just that I had a lump in my throat and was struggling. And there was also fruit there, but the fruit was quite small, like tiny apples, and dried fruit that I didn't recognise. But hey, it was all delicious. Anyway, I didn't see anywhere to sit, but I do remember the art on the wall. It looked like, kind of a bit like a Picasso, but not colourful. It was striking and what we might call alternative. It was large and filled most of the wall. After a while at the party, I start to relax a bit more and I enjoy seeing everyone and chatting. And I have a very strong feeling that I am with friends, people that I already know. Someone comments about my plans for completing a specialization in my studies, and then something about what I'm planning to achieve after that. So I go into detail about discussing a theory I have regarding the use of desert resources for creating stonework. It's a big step from the current building methods, which are either cut directly into bedrock or massive blocks quarried and then transported. The problem with my current findings that I'm working on is that the blocks that have been created so far from the sand, they start to deteriorate in certain conditions. So I'm wanting to study things so that I can work out how to create these blocks and in such a way that they behave like real stone. Anyway, that's basically the essence of what I was telling these people. Nothing else of this dream actually stands out, or at least there's nothing else that I can remember about it. So I think it just faded, or I woke up. So that's the end of that dream. Okay, thanks. Bye.